Welcome back. On this video, we are going to learn how to express past habits, past necessity, past advice, past expectation, and past ability using modal verbs. These forms are key to sounding natural when you tell stories, describe memories, or talk about past experiences. We use would to describe repeated actions in the past. For example, when I was a child, my father would read me a story before sleep. We can also say used to with the same meaning. However, would cannot describe past states. For example, they used to have a fort, not they would have a fort. Here are the more examples. When we were young, we would play outside until dark. When we were young, we would be very happy. It is incorrect. So the correct one is when we were young, we used to be very happy. Remember that would is repeated actions, meanwhile used to is actions and states. We use had to or needed to when something was necessary in the past. For example, I had to finish my homework before dinner. And the negative form is I didn't have to call my parents yesterday. Means it wasn't necessary. Here is the common error. Students use must for the past, but must does not describe past obligation. I must finish my homework yesterday is incorrect. The correct one is I had to finish my homework yesterday. Then we use should have or ought to have plus verb 3 when something would have been a good idea but didn't happen. For example, you should have studied harder for the test. Another example is I didn't bring an umbrella. I should have checked the weather. Common error that student says should plus verb 1 for the past. It is incorrect. You should study harder for the test. The correct one is you should have studied harder for the test. We use should have, was or were supposed to, and was or were expected to when something was planned or expected in the past. For example, the train should have arrived by 9 p.m. He was supposed to meet us yesterday. For general ability, we use could. For example, when I was a child, I could swim very well. For a specific successful moment, we use was or were able to. For example, he was able to escape from the burning car. Here is the common error. He could escape from the burning car is incorrect because could is not used for a single achievement. Degrees of certainty. Present, past, future. Present. Must is 100% sure. He must be tired. Should is 95% sure. She would be home now. Might or may or could is 50%. They might be at the mall. Can't is 0%. He can't be serious. In past, we use must have plus past participle. For example, she must have been sick. Might or may or could have plus past participle. For example, she might have been sick. Can't or couldn't have plus past participle. He couldn't have been hungry. For future, we use will. 100%. She will come tomorrow. Should or ought to. 80%. They should win the match. May, might, or could. It is the same as the past. It may rain tomorrow. Can't is 0%. It can be sunny tomorrow. The common error is mixing forms across time. For example, the train must have arrived tomorrow. This is incorrect. The correct one is the train should arrive tomorrow. Would rather plus verb 1. preference in present or future. For example, I would rather stay home than go out. With different subject, I would rather you stayed here. Past preference, I would rather have stayed home yesterday. Common error is forgetting verb form. For example, I would rather you stay here. It is incorrect. The correct one is I would rather you stayed here. Okay, now let's summarize what we learned. Would is repeated past actions. Used to is actions and states. Had to shows past necessity. Should have shows past advice. Should have or supposed to or expected to show past expectation. Could is for general ability. Was or were able to is for specific success. Degrees of certainty change depending on time, present, past, or future. Would rather expresses preference. Alright everyone, that's all for today's lesson. Thank you for watching and keep practicing these forms in real conversations. And see you on next video. Bye!